When Olivia invited me to her office party, I thought nothing of it. I'd always supported her career. She was working hard, climbing ranks fast in her marketing firm, and I was proud of her. The party was at a high-end hotel downtown. Glass walls, a skyline view, champagne everywhere. I walked in beside her, ready to meet her colleagues and celebrate her success. But the moment we arrived, I noticed one thing. Her boss, Daniel, staring at her like she was prey he already believed he owned. Olivia stiffened when she saw him, and that told me everything wasn't as perfect at work as she'd claimed. Still, I played polite husband, shook hands, offered smiles. But beneath the surface, I was reading every expression, every tone, and every pair of eyes on my wife. Daniel approached us with the swagger of a man too used to getting what he wants, fake charm, expensive cologne, a smirk that screamed power trip. "Olivia, you look stunning," he said, eyes lingering too long on her body. I noticed the way she forced a smile, polite, but uncomfortable. He turned to me, offered a limp handshake, already dismissing me. "And you must be her partner." The pause wasn't accidental. He wanted to diminish me. I shook his hand firm, steady, looking him right in the eye. "Her husband," I corrected. He chuckled like that detail didn't matter, but his eyes darkened. Challenge recognized. Good. Let him recognize it. Throughout the evening, he kept finding excuses to pull Olivia aside. Work conversation, important client talk, quick private chat. Every time she hesitated, glanced at me apologetically, and walked away reluctantly. I didn't blame her. I blamed him. You can feel when a person abuses power, when professional lines blur into personal arrogance. His hand would occasionally graze her back. His jokes got too personal and he'd whisper near her ear like I wasn't standing right there. Every muscle in my body begged for confrontation. But I wasn't going to be the guy who exploded first. I believe in letting people dig their own grave before I bury them with facts and consequences. At one point, I excused myself to get drinks and overheard Daniel bragging to a coworker. Eyes still locked on Olivia from across the room. "She'll realize eventually she deserves better than that. That not even him. That as if I were furniture." I walked right up, handed Olivia her drink, and wrapped my arm around her waist. Not possessively, but protectively, reminding him exactly where she belonged. Olivia leaned into me like she finally felt safe. That was all the confirmation I needed. This wasn't harmless flirting. This was ongoing harassment disguised as leadership. Then came the moment that changed everything. They announced a group photo. As everyone gathered, Daniel maneuvered himself next to Olivia. And as the photographer adjusted the lens, his hand slid down her back toward her hip. Her face tightened. She shifted away, but his hand followed. That was it. I stepped forward, placed my hand between them, and quietly but firmly said, "Move it." He blinked, shocked. "Excuse me," he sneered. "You think you can talk to me like that?" I stared him down. "Touch her again and find out." The room went silent. Co-workers leaned in. Whispers froze in the air. Daniel smirked, pretending confidence, but his hand snapped back like he'd touched fire. He tried saving face. "Relax. It's just a friendly." I cut him off. "Friendly is a handshake. What you're doing is harassment." Then loud enough for everyone to hear, I added, "And I'm sure HR would love to hear the full history of your friendly behavior toward married employees." A few co-workers looked at each other. This wasn't a secret, just something no one dared say out loud. Daniel's jaw clenched. "Watch yourself," he threatened. I smiled calmly. "I don't need to watch myself. You need to watch your career." His mask cracked, rage replacing arrogance. What Daniel didn't know was that I'd already prepared. Olivia had confessed a week earlier that he'd been making her uncomfortable for months. Inappropriate comments, late-night work messages, unwanted invitations. She didn't want to cause trouble. Afraid of backlash. So, I collected everything: texts, emails, voicemail slips. Tonight wasn't impulse. It was strategy. I pulled out my phone and said, "Try anything again. And this goes to corporate shareholders and your wife." Yes, I knew he was married. Power men like him always assume their sins are hidden. Olivia gasped softly, She didn't know I'd gathered evidence. His face went pale, arrogance evaporating like steam on ice. He opened his mouth to argue, then saw the screen displaying one of his messages. The confidence drained from him instantly. People nearby pretended not to stare, but they heard enough. I lowered my voice. You don't get to intimidate my wife. Not here. Not ever. He swallowed hard, stepped back, and fled to the bar, avoiding eye contact with everyone. The party atmosphere shifted, whispers spreading, co-workers exchanging knowing looks. Olivia looked at me with a mix of shock, relief, and overwhelming gratitude. For the first time in months, she exhaled like a weight had lifted from her chest. We left early, and in the car she broke down. Not from sadness, but from feeling protected, valued, defended, she whispered. I didn't want you to think I couldn't handle it. I took her hand. Protecting you doesn't mean I think you're weak. It means we're a team. She leaned her head on my shoulder, tears drying into a relieved smile. Thank you, she whispered, for seeing me, for fighting for me. I kissed her forehead always. That night, we didn't lose a battle. We reclaimed her dignity, her safety, and our peace. Monday came and Daniel didn't show up to work. HR summoned Olivia. After reviewing everything, they suspended him pending investigation. Rumor has it shareholders got involved and his wife found out, too. Last I heard, he resigned quietly before they fired him publicly. That night at the office party was the last time he ever tried crossing a line. He thought power protected him, but real power isn't control. Real power is respect. And he learned the hard way that a man who protects his wife isn't someone you play ego games with. Because some lines aren't meant to be crossed. And some men don't bark, they end careers.